name's Hot P, hot off the presses, always fresh, always sharp, student of the game for life. I stay learning, stay watching, stay adapting. I ain't never been the biggest, the loudest, or the wildest, but I'll tell you this, I'm the one who pays attention, and today I got some game for you, real game, not the loud kind, the lived kind, because where I'm from, you don't survive off muscles or money, you survive off principles, and mine boil down to three. Overview of the three codes. First, be cool. Keep your composure like it's chained to your soul. You stay cool, nobody can tilt your world. Second, be aware. Know every room you step into, the players, the pretenders, the pressure points. Awareness turns danger into data. Third, be better. Stack your wins. Stack your credentials. Stack your future. Move like you're leveling up even when you're still climbing. Take the high ground every time. Now let me break it down the way the streets taught me. One story at a time. One, don't let nobody ever get you off your game. Lock your calm down tight like a bodega gate clanging shut at midnight. Out here, everybody's got some kind of chaos they're trying to hand you. Loud mouths, fast talkers, clowns jumping out the woodwork with circus energy. Let them perform. You don't step on stage with them. You stay planted, ice cold, unshakable, like you leaning on a brick wall in the middle of traffic, watching cabs fly by while you don't even blink. When you keep that stillness, that stone-faced, you are all. You ain't moving me presence. They fold first. They always do. Let me tell you something from back in the day when I was still learning the rhythm of the blocks. It was 97. One of those nights where the wind cuts through your coat like it's collecting debts. I'm on 145th, leaned up on a storefront gate, minding my business. I wasn't hustling that night, not my lane. I dealt in conversations, not product. Messages moved through me clean, quiet, no static. That's how I kept my lane. Then here comes Lil Miko, flying down the block like he just heard gunshots only he could hear. Hot, hot, he yells, damn near skid sliding across the sidewalk. Yo, they coming for me. Them 122nd boys looking for my head, bro. Kid's eyes were buzzing, hands shaking, whole body moving like bad electricity. Me, I didn't even uncross my ankles. I looked at him the same way you look at somebody trying to convince you the subway dragon is real, calm, steady, no ripple on the water. Breathe, lil man, I said, quiet. You moving like a loose wire. Nay, hot, you don't get it, he says, pacing like he's rehearsing his own funeral. They saw me earlier. They following me. I'm telling you. I cut him off with one look. You hearing footsteps that ain't walking, I told him. And if you let your imagination steer the wheel, it'll crash you faster than any real bee. Right on cue, like the city wanted to underline my point. Two of the 122nd dudes turned the corner, carrying Chinese takeout, talking about who owed who money in spades, didn't so much as sniff in our direction. Miko froze. I didn't. I peeled off the gate slow, dusted my sleeve like I had all the time in Harlem, and stared him down. You see how fast your mind tried to dig your grave, I said. You was ready to run from shadows. They wasn't thinking about you, but the way you was spazzing, you would have turned nothing into something real messy. He swallowed hard, nodded like his neck was rusty. I kept walking, didn't look back. That's why you stay cool, I told him over my shoulder. Once somebody or something gets you off your game, you ain't driving no more. You just holding the wheel while the fear hits the gas. Miko walked next to me quiet the whole way home. That was the night he learned the rule, and the night I realized cold heads live longer, hot ones get written about. 2, know Know the room before the room knows you. Clock every face, every move, every angle the second you step in. Pay attention to the quiet ones, the ones watching from the corners, the ones pretending they ain't watching at all. Awareness keeps you a step ahead, keeps you breathing, keeps you from walking blind into somebody else's mess. You don't gotta stare. You don't gotta act pressed. Just keep your senses open like cracked windows on a summer night. Let me break down another night where awareness kept me clean. This was 98, some backroom kickback in Washington Heights. Looked harmless from the outside. Dim lights, cheap speakers, warm beer. But gatherings like that always hide politics. That's why you never walking blind. Soon as I stepped inside, I started reading the layout, not the furniture, the people. First thing I clocked, who was talking to who. If you want to know how a room breathes, follow the conversations. Who leans in? Who leans back? Who gets silence when they speak? And who gets laughs even when they ain't funny? I see Dre, the dude who invited me, chopping it up with a short Dominican cat by the fridge. Dre's loud, moving his hands like he's conducting a band. But the other dude, he ain't moved once, just nodding, taking sips, eyes half closed. That's the first sign. The loudest one's rarely the one in charge. Next corner, I spot two girls sitting on milk crates. One talking nonstop, gossiping about who did what. The other one, barely saying a word, just listening, smirking, looking around the room like she's taking stock. That's the one people kept glancing at. Not the talker, the watcher. Power ain't in volume. Power's in gravity. I slide deeper in and clock the posture is next. You know the type. Shoulders up like they trying to touch their ears, mean mugging at nobody in particular, laughing too hard, trying to convince the room they important. Fronting is loud, authority is quiet. Then I spot the real center of the room without him even trying. An older dude named Tito sitting at the far table, back to the wall, hands steepled. Everybody's movements curved around him without them even noticing. People angled their bodies in his direction when they talked. They'd look his way before making a joke. They'd lower their voices when passing him. He wasn't talking to nobody. They was talking around him. That's how you identify power. Not by who's talking the most, by who the room adjusts itself for. Couple minutes later, Dre pulls me aside, says, "Be careful with Tito. He run this spot." I pretended like I didn't even know. People ask me how I always avoid the blow-ups, the arguments, the bad energy. Simple. I know the alliances. I know the actors. I know the fakes from the heavyweights. Because I read the room before the room even remembers. I walked in. Be better one. Get the credentials. Always work towards something better. And if you're not, at least move like you are. Always take the high ground. I learned real early that when folks think you're doing better than them, even just looking like you're moving different, that's when they start acting funny. Not random funny, strategic funny, territorial funny, threatened funny. It was 99, a cold-ass Wednesday, the kind where the wind feels like it's trying to snatch the skin off your face. I slide through the block wearing a clean fit, not designer, just crisp. Fresh fade, shirt tucked, real buttoned-up energy. I had a night class an hour later, and I wasn't showing up looking like I crawled out the back of a bodega. Soon as I hit the corner, I felt the shift. You know that feeling, like the room tilts a little when you walk in. Folks don't say nothing, but they start whispering with their eyes. Lil Tone was the first to speak. "Damn hot. Who you trying to impress?" Smirk on his face, jaw tight though. Eyes real low. That's envy talking through a joke. "I ain't trying to impress nobody," I told him. "I'm just moving different." Whole circle went weirdly silent. Not mad. Just sizing me up. See, when you start bettering yourself in a place where stagnation is the culture, people think your improvement is an insult. They think you're trying to climb above them. They think they're small. And that's when the petty shit starts. Tone's boy Rico chimed in next, voice loud, fake laugh behind it. Hot P trying to act brand new. Look at him. Man's one polo away from quitting the block. Everybody laughed. Too hard, too fake. I kept a straight face. Because here's the trick most people never learn. Once they think you're better than them, they either want to tear you down or claim they knew you before the glow up. Both are traps. So I took the real high ground. The one where you don't react to insecurity, where you don't shrink to make others comfortable. I said calm as a subway at 3 a.m. I'm not better than nobody. I'm just not trying to stay stuck. The whole mood changed. Tone stopped smirking. Rico stopped laughing. Couple dudes suddenly avoided eye contact because when you say that line with confidence, when you make it clear, you're moving up regardless. Sure do bio white far solo boss say na left the devil right na like show have just about way be better wider that he so they below the water do confront their own lack of movement, and that's what really pisses people off. Not your success, not your clothes, not your classes. Your progress makes their excuses look stupid. From that day on, I noticed the pattern. Folks who felt stuck started throwing little shots at me. Folks who felt threatened started gossiping. Folks who were insecure tried to bait me to back down. Folks with real confidence, they dapped me up and asked how to do the same. That's when I learned. If people think you're better than them, they'll test you, but they'll also reveal who they really are. And that's why you always work towards something higher, or at least move like you are. Because elevation exposes loyalty faster than any fight. People hate what they can't achieve. And if they see you doing it, they either hate you or try to take what you have. Game is game.